Hi everybody, this is Steve from C64 Brain. I'm back with another video. So the first video was me showing in loading up a disk loader program in Kick Assembler, where I have not been able to get the kernel loader working properly, and I've actually, as I mentioned in that video, I originally set up a post on Lemon64 their forum to try to see if anybody could help me. And I had a few people reaching out with some suggestions about using these tools and trying this and or that. So I've actually left this video up there to see if anybody can respond to this. And what I'm going to demonstrate in this video, of course, you can see on here a screen already. I'm going to show you the reason why I'm really determined to get these to get this disk loader working, because I want to be able to take these kind of maps you're seeing and much more and actually get them running in a game, because I've actually worked on a very lot of maps. Most of you don't know I've been absent from YouTube for quite a while, but I just wanted to really let you know I'm not hiding in the shadows. And I know I mentioned before to a lot of people that I was kind of overwhelmed with work, and I have gotten through a lot of work projects right now, so I'm kind of relieved and I got a little bit more time on my hands. So I'm creating this video to show you the work and stuff I've been doing. Learned how to build my own maps. Got some pretty good feedback on them, posted them out on Facebook. But this is what I've been up to. I've been building out quite a few different maps here, and I'm hoping to be able to implement them into the game. Obviously, for those who are not familiar, CharPad Pro is a tool that you can actually, this is a paid version, but you can actually download the free version where you can actually load directly character set maps, and you can use them inside of 8-bit applications. And this one, of course, is being used for the Commodore 64 to load up a map on their screen. I may even demonstrate in this video somewhere how to an actual running game or something, but I just wanted to show you. This is just one of the many maps I've been working on, and this is an 8 by 8. I'm sorry, this is a 4 by 4 map. Right here you can see it's 4 by 4, and the width is 14, and it's a height of 12. And then, like I said, this is just one of many maps. So I'm going to this whole video is to kind of show you the stuff I'd like to be able to get out there. So I'm going to open up another project and switch this one out here and show you if you can see, if I can open this in one area here, you can see that these are many of the different maps I've been working on. So I'm trying to build out a map, sometimes one or two maps a week, but because I've run into this wall right now with this disk loader, it's kind of backlogging me right now where I can't really work on a lot of maps like I'd like to, and get this game project on off the ground. So here's another one I worked on. This is one got a lot of good feedback, a lot of views on it. I don't really know what people think about it. I think, yeah, a few people said it was pretty cool or whatever. So anyways, let me find the most recent one, because the numbers you're seeing here, by the way, when you see 4 and that tells you the days that I've been working on it. So this one I worked on for about 4 days. So I think this may be the last one here. I can even date these to make sure that this is the final one. Actually, I have a 4L right here, so let's go to that one actually. Let me see. It's probably pretty close. I'll tell you in a minute. Yeah, this one should have a police car on it. It does. So this is one of the other maps, and this is one of the maps I like to be able to create and add to my project, where I demonstrated this in an actual game where the sprite is actually running through here, and it runs on a scrolling screen where you can see that loaded up real time here. And when I'm talking to you guys, I'm actually going to try to find that video. I have it here somewhere that I saved it here, and I'm going to pull that up separately here. But yes, this is one of the other character sets that I've worked on. And of course, because I have a lot of different characters here, I can expand these maps out and make them much bigger than they are. But this is just kind of a single screen one here, although it does have, like a little sidewalk and stuff like that. And these are all the characters here. So, I'm sorry, the tiles. So I've got 43 different tiles here that I've actually created. If you go through here, you can actually see them. Let me make sure that's still up on the screen there. You can actually see them as I go through them. You can see the actual graphics and stuff like that I've worked on to make this, my vision. So I'm going to still keep looking for that video, kind of multitasking here on the side. I think I just found that video. So I'm going to start up that video and hope this is the right one. Let me just take a look down here, because I think this was the final one right here. I'm going to load this on a separate screen so that it doesn't And yeah, it looks like it's running here, so I'm gonna move that over. This is actually a different map, by the way. This wasn't, but this is the one that's going to lead to this map. I think if he walks off there and he touches the couch, I just kind of made a test. He'll jump on that and he'll end up on the map. There's the map right there. So you can see the map work in real time. There's obviously some issues I still need to work with on the scrolling. I just haven't had time to fix all this stuff because I've been trying to get these maps to work lately. There's a lot involved just trying to get this whole project off the ground. But of course, the police car is supposed to take me back to another map, I think, if I even touch that. Maybe I don't. But the whole point of this was to be able to walk in the door here and go back to the hotel you came out of, or go back into his apartment. You know, to be able to move around from map to map. That's the whole point of this video. So, anyways, that's just the little video. I guess I didn't do anything else with it, so I'll just stop that for now. Yeah. Okay. So that's this map. So I'm gonna switch over and show you some of the other maps here. This will probably be a longer video for those who are patient enough to hold on here. So I'm going to switch out here to a different map. This one I won't even go into. This one was me trying to like create a body. It really didn't turn out so great, so I won't go into that one. But let's see, this one should be the final one. This looked like this was day 4 here. So this is one I created last week actually. This is supposed to be like an office, like you're walking down an office and you're looking on the outside here. You can see that there's a guardrail here. Actually, looking on the inside because the windows are right here. You can see the city in the background and stuff like that. There's some plants and stuff like that here. So yeah, that's one of the other maps I have there. And then there's the tiles again for it. If you click on stuff, you can see the different graphics like anything. So each of these, by the way, each of these maps takes me somewhere from about 1 to 2 hours to make, if not longer. There's some in here you'll see they're really detailed, so they probably took me all day to make some of these. So this is another one I would like to get loaded up into my project, and this one of course is a width of 20 and it's height of 15, so I didn't really make this one super big. So let's go on to the next one here. Actually, I can probably just go back using one of these. I see that one right there. And let's see, there's one right here for castle. I think this was one of my earlier ones. And some of these you're seeing in here, these are like each stage as I've been building it. So if I go in here, you'll see the earlier stages. So obviously I renamed this one because somebody said it looked like Ghostbusters. So I went and changed this one up a little bit. I think this is the final one. Let me see. Actually, this doesn't appear to be the final one, I don't think, from what I can recall. Yeah, I added more detail than this one, so I'll see if I can find it. But again, here's the character set and stuff like that, right? So if you click on stuff, you can see I keep calling this a character set. So this is the character tile set, and this is the tile editor, so the character set's right here. So this is the different tiles on this one. So let me see if I can find the most recent version on this one, because I'm pretty sure this is not it. Let's see, that one was 3.9. I can actually date these and probably, I think this is the details right here. Tell me the last one I actually worked on was this one. Apparently it was the Ghostbuster one, so this may have been, I moved it to another folder or something. So anyways, let me switch over here. It's probably down here actually, Ghostbusters, so we'll come to that here in a minute. So the next one I did here was some Double Dragon. If you guys ever played the game Double Dragon, I started trying to emulate some of the screens that I was seeing. And I'm going to set this to details again, so I'm making sure I'm grabbing the most recent one. Looks like this was the final one here. So this is all 324, 4:46 p.m. That should be the final one. It's funny looking at these dates. Sometimes you don't know if they're always in the right order, but I was labeling them by letters there to make sure. So here's one. You guys probably recognize this screen from the Double Dragon game. So, and again, this is just not something me copying the data. This is actually me looking at the actual game itself and just trying to reproduce it just from a blank character set, of a blank a startup screen in a CharPad Pro. So that there's basically, if you go here and you create like a new project here, it's like starting from scratch here and doing it that way. So, oops, I just minimized it. I think I just closed it out. Did I just close it out, or do I have it open? Yeah, I just closed it out. So let me open it back up here. So just give me that example. So yeah, so that's the Double Dragon one. And again, these are the different tiles that I had to work through. I did, have screenshots to work with and stuff like that, but I never actually tried to copy any actual direct characters. I was just looking at it visually, just trying to reproduce it that way. So these aren't going to be perfect, and some of them are just my reenactments that I come up with. So that's one level, and then I'll get into another one here. So the next one would be, oh, went too far. So it's scene 2. And again, just to make sure, it looks like these ones are coming up at 8:59. So it looks like this would have been the last one here. So they always go from last to the bottom. Okay, and also by the size would tell me something. Okay, here we go. So here's another level in Double Dragon. This one, obviously, I used a little bit more real estate screen for this one. Yeah, quite a bit, actually. That's kind of a larger view, I guess. And then here's the tiles. Again, you can just click on them to see them individually here. Just being recreated from looking at a screen. Some of these aren't very good, I know, but, is what it is. Okay, that's supposed to be a building too. So let's move on to the next one. So this appears to be the next one. This one got a lot of feedback on it. I actually created the one that has the little Volkswagen on it, and I recreated it. It's actually a little bit smaller than the original one. So the original one's a little bit bigger, and I even created some bullet holes, and it looks like the poster was torn. So basically, some of these gang members came around and destroyed, kind of, created some chaos on it. And of course, this one has a little less tiles. It's only got 24 tiles here. This one took me a good while to really put this one together. You should see the earlier versions I had of this. It was really crappy, and I had to work on it. I think this probably took me about 2 hours just trying to figure out how to get these pixels in the right order. But yeah, there's that one. Here's another one I created. I got a lot of jokes on this one because a lot of people were overseas and they were making fun of this one. They thought it was in like United Kingdom, so they were making fun of it. I forget what they kept calling it. They said it looked like a certain city or something. And let's see, sort this by details again so we can make sure we're grabbing the highest one, which appears to be this one based on the size I see here. This is probably a really large one. Yeah, this is a really large one too. Actually, move this one off the screen a little bit too. It looks like I was trying to create like an outer border on this one, I think. Yeah, this one's really massive. So if you guys can guess what you think that is, I'm not going to tell you because I got a lot of funny feedback on it. And what I'm doing here in a lot of these, I'm just finding an image online and I'm just drawing that just by looking at it as best as I can. And actually, this isn't the original version I just noticed because my other one had way more detail on it. But I'll click on some of these and show them to you. There's some of the background cities and stuff like that. There's a reflection of the buildings in the water. I'm determined to see what I did with the other one. That was 21, so it looks like that was, I mean, actually there's See, these dates are not in order. I actually have 22 here. So maybe I shrunk it down or something. Let me see. This is probably it. I'll know in a minute. Yeah, this has got more detail. This looks like this was the one. Yeah, this is it actually. This is the one I created a little bit more detailed, and I'm almost convinced I had another version of this, but anyways, I got a little fence going on here. And you can kind of see you're kind of looking out toward the sea, and you're seeing this landmark. And it's not in the US as a hint. So some of the graphics. And you can see these are actually very individual bits on this one. You can see that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. And why I keep doing that. So here's a factory. I'm going to start sorting them by date again. I don't think the size was very trustworthy. It looks like the date is the best one to go by because sometimes I was shrinking them down. Yeah, this scene 2 looks like that would have been the last one. Okay. Yeah, this one I really worked a long time on. I think I worked like 2 days on this one. I was trying to get a real realistic look for the Commodore 64. And unfortunately, with CharPad, you're always kind of limited on, the constraints of, if those who may not be familiar, you can't exceed this right here, which is 848. If I compress this, you can't make this exceed 255 characters because that's how many character positions are allowed before you exceed that memory restriction area. So anyways, this is a factory, or it's supposed to be a factory, and you can see some kind of reflections going on here. It's supposed to be night and the moon's up here and stuff like that. And I just created some kind of strange, I got some funny feedback on what this vehicle was supposed to be. I think somebody said it looked like G.I. Joe or something. I forget what they were saying. There's some weird stuff I got on it. But some of these are kind of detailed. And it's just what I've learned really is make a very simple, picture first, and then you kind of go back and you start detailing it and just keep working on it, looking at the shadows, making them deeper and deeper and stuff like that until you come up with something that you think looks pretty good. So that's about as far as I got on that one. I was hoping to be able to create more reflections off the building here. But anyways, there's that one. Oh, what did I do? Oh, probably because I saved something. Yeah, because I compressed it. So anyways, I'll just say yes, we don't care. Okay, it took me back here. This was an earlier one I did. Let's see here. I don't remember if I was using these or not, so I'm going to skip these. I think these might have been some test files. I noticed they're smaller than these, so I'm going to use this one instead. Yep. So this one is supposed to be a farm, a country farm. This is a really big one, by the way. And expand this one actually. And there's a little pond down here and stuff like that. And here's the tiles for this one. I think some of the harder ones here was like this roof. I had to really kind of work out the designs and stuff like that, how I wanted it to look. Still not totally pleased with it, but I think it came out as good as it would be for what it's worth. And you can also turn off the background here and just get, like this one can't really see it, but you can turn off the cells. Some of them you'll really notice when you do it. Okay, so there's that one. I think this might be the same thing. So actually, this might be the game that was run. I mean, the demo I had running for it. Here's that other Ghostbusters one. So let's go take a look. The one I wanted to show off. So in this one, I'm gonna go ahead and let me just start this up. Set this to details. I'm gonna set the date on this one. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do here is start them by date. I think that's better. Yeah, this is the actual one I wanted to show you guys. So for this one, it's a pretty large map. Actually, let me just move it over here. Tried to get this map on the screen as best as I could, but it's not going to fit so much room. This one really goes off the screen because you can make these maps pretty big, by the way. So you can see this one's got a lot of walking. So you could do a little bit of walking around. Somebody said this one looked like Batman, like Gotham City, so that's why I kind of actually Ghostbusters. Yeah, I got Ghostbusters and I got Gotham, so I just called this one Ghostbusters. But then eventually somebody said it looked like Gotham City, I guess because it's dark and all that. But yeah, there's that one, and then here's this one. Didn't really use a whole lot of tiles, but these are some of the different graphics of this one and so forth. That created the, I think that was a window right there. Yeah. So it's just working on those details, and then you also, with CharPad, you have the ability to switch out your foreground colors, and then these are already your set colors. So I use like a gray and a cyan color here, but you can, add more color depth by switching out your foreground, stuff like that. You'll see that probably in some of the later ones I'll show you here. So let me get through this one. And please go ahead and comment on this video and tell me what you think. And I really look forward to those people who can really help me get that disk loader working, because we'll move through these so much faster and get a game out for you guys. That's all I've ever really wanted to do. So put this to details. So for this one, 26. This one's not really a map per se. This is just, some of these were just kind of screens I was working on. I called this one Godzilla. But you could learn to design your own title screens. That's something I like to also be able to do. And then the reason why I'd be able to do that multiple disk loading, because I could create and load a title screen and then go into the game straight from there. So yeah, this one took me a good while because I really had to work on how I wanted the creature to look and all that. You can kind of see his face right here. Here's some of his body part, and I had to work on, and each of these are individual tiles, so they're made up of, was it 8 by 8? 8 by 8. I'm not sure what this was. I think I was going to try to create lightning or something. It didn't turn out very good. You can actually go in here and click on it like that. And you can see it doesn't look so good, so I decided against that. And here's the ship. Actually, I probably took this one out. I got some tanks down here. I think I removed this ship and I kind of darkened it instead. So there's that one. And keep going through these. And I'll go to the next one and show you guys that. Just keeping with the order. This one's kind of very similar. Actually, wait, this was not an actual map, so we'll skip that one. I think this was like a really old one here. Let's see. This was probably very similar to the first one you guys saw. Some of my earlier designs. So you can see this one doesn't really have a lot of detail on it, like the other ones have more shading and stuff on it. So I think I kind of gave up on this one, to be honest. And this is the one that turned into the Gotham Ghostbusters that people kept, having their opinions about it. So Here's a grocery store. Let me see, set these in order. This was a back stock room I created. This was going to be one for the actual, these were some of my very earlier ones, by the way. This was going to be, and I have a demo for this one too, showing like a back stock room area. And actually this looks like an unfinished one. I may have renamed this one too. Let me see. I opened up grocery stock room. I think I opened up the earliest one. 3334. No. So when I opened, okay, so we'll skip that one. It's probably right here. Nope, that's just the actual program. I don't know. Not so certain of this one. Let's see the dates on these, 3433. Let me just go back to one of these just to see what it looks like anyway. Oh, this was my earlier. You can see kind of where I start when I'm designing stuff. That's kind of where I start at and work my way from there. Not sure where that one is, by the way. Not going to waste a whole lot of time on it, though. So the next one here, this one was one I worked on. This was one of my very, very earlier ones, too. So this one, putting these in order by date. Looks like this would have been the last one. And actually, this isn't the one I wanted to show you because this one doesn't really have the colors on it. This is the one I used when I was showing it off in the actual game because I used the wrong settings when I loaded this one in, and it came into like a high resolution instead of a multicolor. So I think I'll go, that might be this one actually, since I called it multicolor. It's not that one. Let's see here. Let's try this one. There it is. So you see it's got like the regular multicolors here. So this is an actual house environment, so to speak. And you see there's even a little car in a garage down here. And this one I actually demonstrated in the actual game, and I may have that video here too to show you that too. I think it's this one right here actually. This is the one. This is actually the only map I got working, the one you just saw, the blue one. I didn't really have a working version I could run it with. Only later did I finally go back and convert the high res back to multicolor. And that was probably like a couple weeks later. But this is, you can see I'm kind of running around the high resolution multicolor house. It still works though. Okay. I was trying to make it so he can go up and down stairs, but that didn't work very well. That's supposed to be a kitchen right there. And I was trying, at the last part of this video, I was trying to get back into the garage, but I couldn't because I had created some what are called material attributes that basically is how you detect stuff on the screen. And I blocked the wall up so I couldn't get back over. So I think I'll just stop the video there because I couldn't get through. This is me jumping around forever. Okay, so that was this part down here where I was walking through and trying to get through to the garage with no success, of course. Of course, and here's the tiles for this one. And we'll load up the next one. So this one looks to be this one. Yeah, this is the one you saw when I first loaded up the very first video. This was me running around in that video. This is like a hotel environment. Very simple map that creates supposed to be a hotel environment, right? And here's the tiles again. Just to click through some of them to show you once again. As you can see here, I'm actually taking advantage of the foreground colors here, and I switched it from green to red. As long as you're taking account that there's no other colors here that are going to be green, you can switch over to another color. And you can still reuse these because they're outside of this area, as long as you're using those 4 colors per square. And this was supposed to be some kind of like a front desk thing. I was creating a little monitor display and stuff like that. And up here you got a little restaurant going on in the background. Lights hanging there and stuff like that. And of course, stairs you could navigate up and down. So that's that one. I think this was just, oh no, there's a lab in here. Okay, so this is 315. Let me go look at this other one real quick, just to try to find the most recent one. 253. This one could possibly be it. No, this is one. Let's go back to the other one here. 1J, looks like it might be this one. 4:32 p.m. Oh yeah, this one, I got a lot of funny feedback on this one too. People said it looked like Mission Impossible. It was supposed to be an actual lab, hence the name laboratory. It turned into something else entirely. You see some of the, this is supposed to be like an elevator here. And then here's a lower floor. So to see with the maps, you can keep building them out. This one, notice it's 27 by 30. And of course, we'll look at some of the tiles on this one. I'm not sure what I was doing, maybe a water bottle or something. I think I was trying to like make it some kind of a chemical or something, because I was focused on the lab part. And then people said it looked more like a server room. So that's what that one looks like. So moving on to the next one. I think we're getting close to the end here. Here's another one I did. This was actually a log cabin. Okay, so let me see here. I'm gonna have 7 colors here. This looks like these were the later ones, so I'm gonna see what these are about. I think this was the final version of it. Yeah, this was a little log cabin I worked on. Not my best design, but is what it is. Somebody says I should have made it smaller. The whole idea was to try to see, you know, how big I could make it. And again, I'm just trying to get used to this CharPad character set and seeing what I can really do with it. But that's supposed to be, and it's a picture I actually looked at of an actual live log cabin. So these are some of the graphics. This one has quite a few tiles. You can see it's got quite a lot of different, angles and stuff like that you're looking at. This one I really didn't do a lot of shading with. I just noticed that too, probably because I was more interested in the detail on this one. So anyway, let's see here. I'm not sure what this one is. Medieval times. I think I was trying to create like that kind of scene. I think this might have been the one you saw earlier. Let me see. Yeah, this is where I was trying to start with all this like medieval period, and it turned into the Ghostbusters Batman. I was trying to create like a castle and stuff like that. So since you've seen that one, I'll skip over on that one. And we'll go down here. Here's another one I worked on. This is not an actual map per se, but it's more like just a picture again. So this one looks like this would have been the final one because that's 1:30. That's AM, so it would have been this one actually. Put them by date again to make sure. Yep, that would have been the last one. $113, $130, $145, $201. So this would have been the last one actually. Yeah, I was trying to create some kind of like a mountain view. I think this is one I almost kind of gave up on. I don't know if I did any more with this one. Again, you can kind of see I'm using the different, I'm switching out here. You can see blue here being used for like this one. You see there's more blue there, and then here I'm using the green, so it kind of switches over from the blue to the green there. Okay, so from the mountains one, and this is the, I think this is, yeah, this was me running the actual live demo, so I think getting closer to the end here. Here's Space Adventures. There's a lot of forum and feedback on this one too. Somebody kept saying that it didn't look like a space ship or something. I forget what he kept saying. It looked like a prison or whatever he was saying. So I kept changing it, and eventually I came up with a totally different map. The next day, I think it was. I took him up on his challenge, and I created something totally different. This may be the latest one, or this may be the older one. Let me see. Looking at these dates again, it looks like this would have been the last one, and I called this one Space Adventures. Let me just try one of these, for example. Yeah, this was the final. This wasn't the final one, but this is where I was trying to make it look like a spaceship environment. But this probably wasn't the final one. Let me see here. I'm going to load this one up and just see what it is anyway. Even though it says 322, I just don't know. Yeah, this was like my original one. This wasn't the one. Try something else I was trying with it. Multicolor. 17. This one's 17. Let me see this one. Oh yeah, this one's not. This was probably closer to the original one I had. And I started to come out with more of the white, because if you're on a spaceship, you would see more white. So I was trying to create more white areas to make it look more like a spaceship as best as I could. Put the little planet, and my wife even said it looked like there was a tractor beam here. So some of the tiles in this one used quite a few different tiles. But I was doing all kinds of different perspectives with this one. When you get in those angles stuff, and when you get more into the shading, you end up using a lot more tiles than you think you're going to be using. So this is part of the planet there. So there's that one. Now on to the next one. If that isn't the end, let me see. Here's another spaceship one. I'll see if this is one of the earlier ones. So I know I had two different ones on this. Let me see, 317. I'm gonna try this one. Seems to be a larger file. Oh no, this is the same one. Okay, it's probably different things I was doing with. I think I even got a little ladder going on down here, maybe some other stuff. This might have been the final one, actually. Yeah, because now I got the little scene in here. Yeah, this would have been the final one. Okay. And SpaceX. Curious, this might have been the original one. I think I started calling it. I was trying to like reproduce SpaceX or something. Oh no, I know what this is. This is a picture I worked on. So let me start with this one. It's supposed to be on the planet Mars. I had a couple of different versions of this one actually. And this one might have took me about 3 hours or so, especially when you're working on like some of the ship part here. Just took more time to kind of figure it out. I don't know if that was the final one. I keep thinking I'm missing another one here. This one was another one I did, which is kind of similar to the Double Dragon. I took the game Technocop, for example, and I started reproducing it and started coming up with my own different versions, just to kind of show you where it starts and where it ends up at. So here's 322. This is where it started, just to kind of show you how it all begins. This is like the first start of a map, right? There's not a whole lot of detail here, but you're starting fresh, as I mentioned. And then eventually you get to the part several hours later where you've got a finished product. And this one I actually ended up creating different scenery in it and stuff like that. You'll see there's a lot of stuff in this one. I was trying to create a little lava down here. So let's see here. It's a pretty large one. And then the tiles are right here, of course. I didn't use a whole lot of tiles on this one. Kind of like a little level thing. You'd be jumping from, platform to platform while you're running around. I don't know, I just did some weird designs with this one. And I had like this little hanging thing, like where you would swing on it or something like that. And again, this is not just so you guys know, these are not actual games. These are just maps, because I know people are gonna be like, where can I play the game at? It's like, well, no, these are just maps you're looking at. Games take a lot longer to design, but the goal is to eventually get something running. So I'm not sure what this bricks thing is, but I'm gonna load it up anyway. Oh, this is again some of the earlier versions I was trying when I was first learning to really try to come up with something. This one is the one that evolved into that background alley you saw earlier in the video I even showed you. So I wanted to show you the other SpaceX. I think it might be this one. Yeah, this was one of the other ones I did. One of the earlier ones I did where it's kind of like a different kind of rocket shape, and then I ended up changing it because it just really didn't look much like a rocket. Oh, I know what there is. There's another one I have on here. This one I've been trying to think of. Again, trying to do this on the fly here. So, if I go through it, I'll probably remember it. And actually, if I go here, let's see. Oh, I know what it is. I never showed you these ones either. So this is where it all originally started. Let me kind of sort this one in order too, to show you. Let's see what this one is. Yeah, this is one I worked on. This is an actual larger map. So it's got quite a lot of detail to it. And this isn't the actual one I wanted to show you though. The other one is like a red color. I notice I called that one blue, red. That would have been one of the later ones. Let me see if this is it. Yeah, here it is. And this is the more detailed one. This is a really large one. This one looks like to be unfinished, actually, so this may not be the right one. But I think you get the point, right? Unfortunately, right now I can't think of the other one I was going to show you. Here's an Adventure Island. Did I load this one yet? Imagine if I was working on these for a year just to try to find these alone. It would just be so much to go through. So I know this video is long. Just wanted to kind of show you where I've been. Let's load this one up. I don't think I loaded this one up yet. Oh, this was the first one I did, wasn't it? Did I show you this one? Yeah, I can't remember if I showed you this one. I showed so many. It's supposed to be like a waterfall scene. The little house at the top. I know I'm gonna, when I get done with this video, I'm gonna be like, I remembered which one it was. I wanted to show you guys, but anyway, here's some of the graphics for this one. And some of these do go over. You'll see, notice that some of these are over, so I have to remove other tiles to get what I'm looking for. But yeah, there's some of the other ones I had. Trying to stall myself to see if I can remember which the other one was I wanted to show you. Because I was kind of going through these pretty fast. But right now I can't think of what it is. And also to kind of show you, I'm going to load up my Facebook here for a minute. We'll make this video a little bit extra long. So I can kind of show you where this all came from. This is my Facebook page. And all the postings I've been doing, you'll see the maps on here. And there's some of the different ones I did. You'll see there's a running video there. I'm just going kind of fast here, kind of trying to see if I can find that other map, but I don't know what it is right now. Here's some of the earlier design parts when I first started working on them. This one goes back pretty far. Just the kind of stuff I went over and I showed you everything here. Oh, is the video actually showing correctly on this? Okay. I don't think the page is loaded properly here all the way, so I'm just making sure it's in range. So let's see here. Yeah, there's the Double Dragon. There's the Technocrop. There's the body one. I didn't really show you that map, but that was when I was working on. Some of the earlier stages of that one. Some of the visuals I worked off of. And there's the one I wanted to show you. Different versions of it. Yeah, this was the map I wanted to show you, but I couldn't find out where it went to, but somebody said it looked like a prison or something, so. I was trying to reproduce the scene from Space Quest, if you guys have ever played that PC game back in the 90s. That's where I was getting all this from. It's supposed to be like a little restaurant here and stuff like that, so. And I even shared some of the tile sets and stuff like that, so. Yep, that's pretty much the end of this video. I wanted to show you guys, and thank you guys for watching the video. Feel free to go ahead and like and comment, subscribe to this channel if you want. And yeah, thanks so much.